I'm a guy that's 25. Lego Star Wars is my life. I like Ryan Johnson. I'm Rich Boy J. Hello boyos, Rich Boy J here back with another video, and this is going to be episode 46 of the Starkiller base mock build series. Before we get into the video, I want to give a very special thanks to those of you who contributed via Super Chat on the live streams. I sincerely appreciate it whenever you guys do so. It means the world to me. So shout out to CMProductions, TheBrickGuild, The Trending Brick, Timeless, Matthew T, Where Does the Time Go, The Film Den, Lamborghini Waffle Sauce, Brick Plug, Brickmaster 75, and Lord of the Bricks. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. If you guys are not tuning into the live streams, we had an especially hilarious live stream over the past weekend, so I urge you to do so. It's a great time for you to see the build early, but also hang out with some boyos, talk Star Wars, some of the most incredible Star Wars topics that you might ever engage in. I promise you that. But this week we got some decent progress done. I actually started a new section. I started off the hallway, the iconic Starkiller base hallway, as well as the shield room where Finn and Chewie and Han Solo try to get Captain Phasma to let down the shield so the rest of the Resistance can make it onto Starkiller base. But that's enough talking. Let's go ahead and jump right into the build. Alright guys, we're tuning back in with Starkiller base, and you can see I started construction on the next section of the interior, which is super exciting because we're moving forward, we're getting more things built. I'm just very happy about that. This is going to be the iconic Starkiller base hallway scene right next to the security shield room. I'll get into that in a little bit, but I didn't want to show you the iconic hallway. Now this is the hallway they use a bunch in the film. Notably, when Phasma's walking down this hallway, the heroes ambush her from this side and basically use her to take down the shields. The same hallway was actually used when they enter the base. They actually come in through this door over here, and it's funny how it's introduced, right? Because there's like a stormtrooper standing right here. He gets shot, flies to the other side of the hallway, and you can see I have another door represented over there, and then this is where the heroes enter the base. So my general plans for this hallway is to have this straight section right here, obviously, but then behind it, the hallway curves off. It's basically at an angle. So I'm going to build basically a rock wall that comes this way. And another cool thing about this hallway, one thing I'm actually super excited to build, is one of the little catwalk style walkways. It's basically elevated. There's like a door on a second level here, and there'll be a walkway that comes this way. It's not actually going to go anywhere because this little pillar right here will kind of obstruct the view, but the parts that will be visible, if you even try to get in here, you'll be able to see the walkway kind of coming this way. And I'll even throw like a stormtrooper or somebody up there to, I don't know, make it more realistic, show that people are actually walking through this area. One thing I did for this section that I don't typically do is actually I built something mechanical. We have this mechanical door right here. You can see you twist this knob on this side and both doors open at the same time. I did want to give you guys a breakdown of this because this is the first time I've ever actually had to implement something like this in a mock. I was kind of concerned with how I was going to do this. Like when you have these double doors that split like this, getting this to all operate from one mechanism isn't the most straightforward things because you basically have to have the two doors going in different directions. But I feel like the solution I came up with is relatively straightforward and something that you guys can even implement in your own builds if you have some pretty basic parts. So you'll see the entire door is operated by this one Technic rod. It basically goes from the outside so you can access it, from the wall, and then it goes all the way through to the other side of the door. If you're wondering why this is only half a door, it will be taller. This mechanism is just something I wanted to test out before I got this entire section built up. But once I get it built up, nothing's going to change. All of this will basically just sit a little bit higher once we get a full door built. So if you're wondering about that, don't be concerned at all. That's not something that's going to affect this in any way once I actually get this built up. But what we have here is, like I said, this long rod with two gears. And then they're basically transferring over to these gears right here that are facing, I guess they're perpendicular to those gears. And then the bigger gears are what are connected to these gear rack plates. It's basically a 1x4 with geared teeth on top of it. And that's what allows the doors to move. They're basically just at the top of the doors. One thing you have to consider, like I said earlier, is the fact that the doors need to go separate ways. So these two gears need to spin in opposite directions. The easiest way to do this, and that's what I've done here, is basically just having these two gears that are transferring power on opposite sides of the gears. So you can see if you're looking at it from this direction, the gear for this door is on the right side of this gear. And then the gear on this door is on the left side of the bigger gear. And what that basically does is it's these two gears kind of have to spin in the same direction because they're on the same rod. But depending on what side you put it on, you can actually have the gear that's perpendicular to it spin in the opposite direction. So if I had, for example, this gear on this side of the door, this gear would spin the same direction as this one because that's the side it's on over here. We don't want that. We want the doors to come apart and then come back together. So that's why I did this. Hopefully that was a decent enough explanation. Hopefully you guys will, I don't know, implement this in some of your future builds. I think now that I know how to do this relatively easily, I'm definitely going to start making my doors mechanical because there's just something so fulfilling about opening these doors like this. And I know some people are going to point it out. These blue Technic pins are not going to be exposed when this build is finished. I will cover those up. I knew that was a big deal in the prison section. I won't make that mistake again. But this hallway's coming together pretty nicely. As I pointed out earlier, there's a door on this side. This door is going to be remaining closed because it's basically leads to the prison section, and there's no reason to have this door open because we hardly see it open for any period of time. One other thing I did want to point out were the wall details here. You'll remember the same shape from the prison section, so I basically just repeated that wall design here. This is actually a pretty common wall design in Starkiller base, so I had the parts to do it. I implemented it here, and these are actually going to go up a few levels right above this door. So I'm going to be building that a lot more, and then of course we're going to work on building this section up. And my plan in the long term is to actually have the elevator, a functioning elevator, is going to come down and basically settle right in front of this door, and then you'll be able to open it and see the heroes. So hopefully that all works out. We'll see how that goes. The next section I want to show you guys is this pretty awesome security room. You'll notice the way the minifigures are oriented. We have Finn over to the left. He's pointing his gun at Phasma, as well as Chewbacca pointing his gun at Phasma, while Phasma is lowering the shields, and she's working on this little console right here. This screen took so long to figure out. It's a pretty complicated design, and it's still not even done. I need to tile up these studs in here and get some stickers to put basically some console elements, because if you'll look at the scene that I have pulled up right here, you'll see, I think I got the shape down of it pretty well. It's flat at the top, and then there's these two subtle slopes at the bottom of it. But at the very edges of it, there's like these console areas that I want to basically recreate. So that's why I've left these studs open. And you can see I even have a black 1x4 tile there. I want to be covering all these black tiles with some stickers that basically just represent Starkiller base console elements. I was going to get some custom ones made, and I think I'm still going to get a custom sticker made for the actual shield screen because it's a pretty unique design, right? Like, I'd love to have a sticker of a Starkiller base here with all the information on it. But for all the other areas, there's actually some pretty useful stickers in the First Order Star Destroyer set. So I placed an order, I think from like Australia, that's going to be coming in who knows when, but once it gets to me, I'll be able to cover up a lot of those areas with some pretty accurate looking stickers, and I'm super excited to get those sticker sheets in. I ordered 3 of them. They're pretty consistent with the Starkiller base, just aesthetic. You can see even this console in here, like that's from the First Order Star Destroyer. Because I do have the set, unfortunately, a lot of the stickers are on cheese slopes, and I don't need the stickers to be on cheese slopes. I need them on 1x2 and 1x4 tiles. So hopefully those will come in some reasonable amount of time, and I can actually get the edges of this computer screen completely finished off. But you can see like there are some pretty intricate angles in this thing. Like getting all of this to line up was not an easy feat, but I'm super happy with the way it came out. Like just looking at this, just the general shape of it, and even with these concave slopes on the inside here, and even the cheese slopes with those ridges really do look similar to what we see here. For example, those ridges and then the concave slopes right here. So it works out. I'm very happy with this design. I think that's a great position for this to be. If you look at the film and you look at this room, the way I have all this oriented is not correct at all. But this was, I felt, the best orientation to present this as a mock. Like, trust me, I tried all I could to get this room oriented accurately, but it just ended up that it was just better presented this way. But another thing you'll see closer to the edge of the mock are these famous, I call them Death Star like panels right here, these consoles. We see these when Luke and Han Solo and Chewbacca take Chewie to the detention level, and I loved it because these are actually in Starkiller base. If we look over here at the film, whenever Han Solo comes into the room, they actually are, I think, like right next to him. Hold on, let's see. Come on, Han. Here he comes. Here he comes. Here he comes. Boom, there's Han Solo, and those are our consoles. So I wanted to replicate that in Starkiller base, and I love this design I came up with. I unfortunately do not have all the pieces to get these colors accurate. You'll see I have some like dark gray lattice slopes on those two sides, and I also want to replace these light gray brackets on the top with black. But once I get all those colors swapped out, and you know, these are correct as they should be, I think this assembly is going to look so freaking cool. I think the shape of it is almost perfect for what I was going for, and I'm extremely happy with the way this looks. One other cool thing I did that you might notice is I actually put this on an elevated, rounded platform. So if I kind of take my camera over to the top, that's actually super difficult to see that. Geez, you can't even get in there. But basically this platform that this is on, it's actually rounded. So I don't know, if you come in person, you might be able to see it, but I don't know. Actually, here you can kind of peek through there. You can see, yeah, there's a rounded platform in there. There we go. You can check that out. And I thought that was just a nice way to add some detail to it. I don't know. Just thought it was nice. The final thing with this room is, of course, Han Solo. He is dragging some stormtroopers over to the side. If you'll notice in the scene, they're just dead stormtroopers. I imagine they had to kill a few of them to get access to this room. So I basically just wanted to have Han Solo, you know, helping out, dragging these stormtrooper corpses, you know, out of the way so they can get Phasma to do what they need her to do. And I don't know, I just love the way this room came out. Got some nice wall details as well. There's of course going to be a snot ceiling. That's what I'm going to work on in a little bit, as well as this main hallway over here. So let's go ahead and do that. And just like that, we've gotten done a decent amount of work on this hallway. I am so happy with the way this door looks. I added some details around the door. You can see here. I still need some 1x2 black tiles to fill in here and here. And these are basically consoles, the black tiles. So those, of course, be covered with stickers at some point, or maybe I'll just find like a 2x2 black tiles with a decent print on them. But here's a look at the larger door. Here we go. It opens up. It closes with this knob. I'm extremely happy with that. And I'm liking the door design too. I did something, it's not super extravagant, but there's just some line details there that make it look, I don't know, just a little bit more interesting than just a flat light gray stack of bricks. If we move over to the main section over here, I'm super stoked about this. Let me go ahead and turn these lights on. Boom, it is illuminated. Once again, a snot ceiling is looking pretty good there. But of course, we have the scene set up with Han Solo and the gang trying to get Captain Phasma to give them what they want. Unfortunately here, you'll see there's a lot of that green color exposed for those 1x1 areas. I have some 1x1 black tiles coming in. I unfortunately don't have them at the moment, so I'll just have to wait in order to install those and fully complete this room. And of course, I mentioned earlier, these consoles still need to have the colors swapped out. But all in all, I love this room. This is such a cool scene. Like I really did like this scene in the film, and finally having this set up, especially with Finn and Chewie in the background, and then Han Solo. Well, it looks like the helmet rolled over in the foreground, just dragging these lifeless stormtroopers around is pretty funny. I'm thinking what I'll probably do towards the end of this build is add like a officer of some sort here, just knocked out. I imagine if they walked in here, maybe the officer would be at these consoles, and then they'd probably shoot him as well as a stormtrooper. So it might even set a cooler scene to have an officer just knocked out right here. But overall, I think this room looks pretty freaking cool. Another Yet another interior room done in Starkiller base, and I just, once again, those snot ceilings go such a long way, in my opinion, in just setting the scene and preserving the overall detail in many different areas of this build. But that's all we got this week. I think this is a pretty good stopping point. We've gotten one room completely done and a hallway at least started with the doors. Next week, you guys will see me work on the extension of this hallway going towards the back with the slanted hall. The biggest reason I didn't start this week is there's actually a lot of rock work involved there. It's basically just a giant rock wall with some pipes going through it, and I need to get some more parts in before I can start more large rock work sections. So once that comes in, you guys will see that progress, and this mock is still chugging along. It's a long process, but I think it's an enjoyable one because we get to have many different interesting rooms like this one, for example, completed. So let's go ahead and go to the end of the video. And that's going to finish up the video today. I hope you enjoyed checking out Starkiller base. Of course, in the comment section below, let me know what you think of what I've gotten done so far. I love the progress that we got done this week. It's always fun and exciting to start a new section. And moving forward with this section, I'm going to have to once again do some rock work. Not looking forward to that, but hopefully it can go relatively smoothly. I've done it so much now. I've really have a lot of experience doing it. It shouldn't be too bad. I honestly just really want to get it over with at this point. So next week, you guys should hopefully see the hallway progress a significant amount if those orders for the rock work pieces come in. Otherwise, I'll just work on things that aren't rock work. I have a few levels of sections to complete that'll basically take up this block of Starkiller base. So it could be the case where if I can't move too much forward on this specific hall section, I might move to a section above it, which is going to be most likely another hall, as well as Rey getting interrogated by Kylo Ren, which should be a really fun scene to recreate in Lego. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. But that's all I got for you guys this week. If you like what I do, go ahead and support the video by hitting the like button, support the channel by smashing that subscribe button, and I'll be back again very soon.